All right, so it's a pleasant afternoon if you're watching this masterclass from Nigeria. We have constantly been having this masterclass, and the feedback has been really very good. Fortunately for us, also, we have hit 1,000 subscribers. So I want to thank every one of us who has been part of this masterclass and has been following us from day one. We have a big fish, somebody that I've known for a while now, and then somebody who has lived what he wants to teach us, or he's living what he wants to teach us. You know, while I was discussing with him before this master class started, he said that these things are easy. And I told him, well, we don't think they are easy. Some of us want to sacrifice our sleep, sacrifice our lives to ensure that we get a scholarship to study abroad. And then he said they are easy. I think it's one person you need to pay attention to. Today, I have the singular pleasure of welcoming Dr. Alimi Yusuf. Good afternoon, Doctor Dokita.
Good
All
afternoon,
right,
Dr.
good to
Femi.
have you. And so
Thank you for your generosity.
doctoral researcher, University of Manchester. You're a big man now, right?
Big man indeed.
That's what,
I'm still trying to rise through the ranks, sir.
well. So for some of us, everybody wants to. I hear a new word now that people say they want to sapa or something. Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to leave Nigeria and go for greener pasture. But more importantly, I think the educational system outside the country is still slightly better, maybe, or a lot more unique. I don't know what you think. I know you'll be offering us insight. So people at every point in time, a lot of people at every point in time will want to add to their experience. And honestly, we are so glad that you're joining us today to teach us. It's a 1 hour full masterclass where we will, after this session, we will gather all our documentation and we'll come and meet you in Manchester. Do you like that?
Yeah, definitely. I will be very pleased to host you in
Mm,
Manchester,
mm,
and I'm in where, in fact, indeed, in wherever you want to go in the
mm,
world. I feel like there are lots of opportunities in the world right now that we vets and livestock experts, animal health experts need to key into.
mm.
The world is waiting for us to actually manifest our fullest potential, and I feel
Exactly.
like now is just the time.
Mm,
And with regards to what you said about studying abroad, I feel like it's everybody's right to want to rise to the pinnacle of their potential
mm,
educationally by getting the best education you can ever get. And
mm,
what's best than doing it entirely free of charge
mm,
without paying for it, without
mm,
having somebody else fund your dreams? I
mm,
think that's the awesomeness of applying for and winning
mm,
scholarship.
mm. All right, so you've done this and you're doing this. I see one of your CV that you're the head coach in scholarship made simple. So there's a myth around that these things are difficult, like almost even impossible, Marcel. What do you think?
Personally, I feel like there's never been an easier time to win scholarships. Scholarships are not actually difficult per se. They are very easy things that once you understand the psychology behind it, you follow the principles and you are willing to do the work, you are going to have it. It's just going to come to you. Yeah. But that's not to say that there are not people that might have some challenges that are drawing them back with regards to potentially maybe what you the grades you finished with, and you might think that there's a disadvantage with regards to maybe if you didn't finish with the first class or a 2-1. But the reality of it is that there's a scholarship for everyone.
Mm,
What I mean by that statement is that if you don't win, there are different types of scholarships, and all types of scholarships require different type of people. There are scholarships that are looking for excellent students that graduated with first class. There are scholarships that are looking for people that have done a lot of things in their community. There are scholarships that are looking for people that have
mm,
need-based scholarship. Maybe you come from a background that is not too economically strong. Those type of scholarships that are need-based scholarships might be best suited for you. And then there are also scholarships that give full funding, which are usually more competitive. There are scholarships that give partial funding. There are scholarships that are even tuition free. And there are even bursaries that just give you an amount, maybe $25,000, just like a grant for you to study. So, depending on the type of scholarship you are looking for, I'm very confident that there's a scholarship for you if you really are out to pursue this. That's why I'm very passionate, especially for veterinarians and animal health people and livestock people that are my primary constituency. I mean, I've worked with people that are not vets, but I've always had a passion for the industry, animal health, veterinarians, and I believe that our training gives us that advantage to be able to take hold of this type of opportunities, especially at this time.
And so I think it's very heartwarming to see that there are scholarships for everybody, right? So don't give up yet if you don't have first class. He said there's scholarship for even your third class. There will be need-based scholarship. So what we want you to do, Dr. Alimi, we're going to be giving you another 15 minutes uninterrupted to make a full presentation. After which we'll start asking questions, picking questions, and then maybe answering concerns that people might have so that you can guide us. I'm hoping that through this master class, at least we'll have a lot of people gaining scholarship to study abroad. So you can share your screen. I'm going to be bringing up your screen on board so that you could make it a full presentation and we can take it from there. Go ahead, doctor.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Femi. Good afternoon once again to everybody listening. So I've prepared this presentation to be focused on people in veterinarians, animal health, livestock experts, or anybody in the livestock industry that is interested in potentially furthering their education for postgraduate studies. Yeah, because I'm going to assume that you have a first degree, maybe in veterinary medicine, in animal science, in animal health and production, in feeds or pasture production, or whatever related to the livestock and veterinary industry. So that's what my assumption today. Yeah, so and the presentation will be geared to people that are looking for postgraduate opportunities. So I started with a question: why are we here today? Of course, we are all here. The question has answered itself. We are here because we all desire progress, and most importantly, we are here because talent is universal, but opportunity is not. I've found over the years working in this area, looking for scholarships for myself and even helping others, mentoring people and coaching people to get scholarships. The thing is, what is easy is also easy not to do because information is actually not available the way we would want it to be. So let me give you a little backstory of myself. Um, my quest for scholarship actually started 10 years ago. Dr. Femi knew me as far back as 15 years or 16 years ago when I was just starting out as a veterinary student in Ahmadu Bello University's area. So while ABU was a very beautiful and loving institution to study in, one of the leading vet schools in Nigeria, I had at the back of my mind that I wanted to also pursue further studies outside the shores of Nigeria. Why did I do that? I felt like there's always more to learn and there are more skills that you can always acquire. And why not acquire it on the biggest stages in the world? So 10 years ago, I made a decision that changed the trajectory of my life. I decided that I was going to explore study abroad. But the next question that came after that is, how are you going to fund it? Because I knew that my parents at that time could not afford to send me to study in the universities that I wanted to study in. So I started doing my research and I found out that the only way out for me would be scholarships. And so I did that, and I ended up getting a scholarship to study for a master's program at the University of Edinburgh. And then at that time, it was an online kind of mixed format study, blended study, where you study mostly online and then you get to travel only once in a while. That gave me an opportunity to see how a world class education looked like. And I ended up graduating with a master's in international animal health. And that master's opened me up to many opportunities. And I ended up consulting for international organizations like the Regional Animal Health Center of the ECOWAS in Bamako, Mali. So that gave me an understanding of what it means to be able to study in a leading university. Because when I apply for opportunities, they tell me categorically that it's because of your Edinburgh that we saw on your certificate that we called you for this opportunity. So I became a lecturer in a Nigerian university, and I got interested in in mentoring students, and I started mentoring my students for scholarship opportunities. And then you have on the screen, you can see three of my students that have won international opportunities. The one in the middle, his name is Aminu Enesi. I think he should be rounding up his education in my university right now as a vet. Any moment from now, he will be graduating as a vet. But that year, we encouraged him to apply for a prestigious global scholarship, which was the World Veterinary Association scholarship, as an undergraduate student. And at the end of the day, he was selected among 40 people, 40 students across the world who won $5,000. And the other two ladies ended up getting a scholarship that was to fund them to an international conference in Milan, with complete with full stipends in euros, and and they are still students of my university currently. So that's how we started. But today, that led to an organization called Scholarship Made Simple, which is currently trying to encourage as many people as possible and many young Africans, developing country professionals as possible to study, to explore the potential of an international graduate education, top class education. So far, we've been able to work with hundreds of students, but we've got dozens of winners right now, and equivalent of about 700,000 worth of scholarships have been won in dollars, in USD. And then we've had about 3,000 mentees reach through our various platforms on social media and one-to-one through Zoom training and all that. And so far, 85% of our scholars so far have gotten selected to study in top 100 global universities in the world. Yeah, like I said, our platform deals with every type of people, but mostly I have a bias for my primary constituency, which is veterinary medicine, animal health, livestock, and all those. So this is how it's going currently. This was a recent picture I took at in Edinburgh, at Edinburgh Castle. So I'm just using all these pictures to show you what potentially could happen. And that when we talk about scholarships, what should you be picturing? A scholarship helps you not just to improve your CV, it helps you not just to get a world-class degree, it also helps you to travel the world, expand your network, meet new people, and different opportunities could come up, from career to job to business and a whole lot of things. A scholarship builds your leadership potential and gives you an opportunity to impact the world in far many ways that you might imagine. So far, our work in Scholarship Made Simple has led us to doing different type of research with scholarship applicants. And we have asked ourselves, what are the major challenges that are affecting scholarship applicants? And what we've found out is that majorly they struggle with problems of lack of guidance, know how to write essays. A lot of people are terrified about essays, English proficiency tests. Some people lack the motivation, and some people struggle with even paying for application fees and to apply for different admissions. Because the truth is, most schools don't charge you for applying for you don't they, most organizations don't charge you for applying for scholarships. If you have to pay for scholarship, then most likely that's a fake scholarship. But you might likely have to pay for admission, application fees for admission. You might have to pay for different proficiency tests like English proficiency and the GRE. So all those things constitute some challenges. So for my presentation today, I'm just going to try to talk through some of these challenges, give you an overview of what to expect, and see how you can move forward. Hopefully, by the end of this presentation, you get a clearer view of what it means to be applying for a scholarship. So the first thing you need to do when you are applying for scholarship, especially as a vet or a livestock expert, is to know that currently in the world there's a big opportunity for you to apply and win scholarship to study abroad. Why do I say so? There's a lot of there's a lot of renewed interest in the area of veterinary medicine, infectious diseases, zoonosis, public health, even animal welfare, climate change, and how it affects livestock and humans, and environmental health. This is the era of One Health, and a lot of opportunities have come out in the recent time, in the last few years, in this area. So that means a lot of developmental partners, international organizations are looking into how they can provide funding to raise the next generation of experts in these areas. So you as a vet, if you have been through the educational system, or you're an animal scientist or livestock expert and you are passionate about this area, there is a big opportunity currently for you. So how do you go about it? How do you start about it? I like to talk about the three D's, which is the desire, the document, and the determination. First of all, you have to have the desire. I'm hoping that by my presentation, I've been able to convince you that there's an opportunity and that hopefully you are going to be exploring that opportunity. That's desire. So document. What documents do you need? In my presentation, I have it somewhere, but I guess I better just summarize it here. You need to have, as soon as you graduate from school, you need to get your certificates from school. You need to have your transcripts, apply for your transcript immediately after graduating. Then you need to plan to write English proficiency exams, IELTS, TOEFL, or something. And you need to, if you are exploring North America, Canada, US, you might consider applying, writing the GRE, which is the Graduate Record Exam. So the next thing is, after you have put your documents in place, the next thing you need to start looking for is, what is the scholarship of best fit? Because people ask, should I get admission before I apply for scholarship? Should I get scholarship before I apply for admission? I think it's a question of the chicken or the egg, which one comes first. To me, I would say that you need to have a funding plan before you start applying for admission. Because if you apply for admission without funding, you are going to be doing yourself a disservice. So figuring out your funding plan starts with establishing your scholarship of best fit. How do you know your scholarship of best fit? You need to take into cognizance the kind of scholarship applicants you are. Are you the first class graduate, or are you the 2-1 graduates? Are you the 2-1 or 2-2 graduate that has been able to do some community development and improve your leadership and has some demonstrable evidence of activity, maybe like leadership or community development or volunteering? These are some of the things you need to take into cognizance. So you need to do a personal audit yourself to know what are your strong points, like a SWOT analysis. And then the next thing you need to figure out is, based on that, do a general search to check which scholarships are out there. And I'm going to be telling you briefly about some of the scholarships that are out here for veterinarians. But I'm aware that I don't have much time, so I need to wrap it up quickly. So the thing is, figure out your scholarship of best fit, and then from there you now move to the application phase. When you have been able to establish that these are scholarships that I might be eligible for based on my personal profile, based on my SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Some scholarships, like I said, are also need-based scholarships. They are looking for people that are coming from backgrounds, economically disadvantaged background, that they want to sponsor. Some scholarships are looking for a kind of intersection of different things. So you need to figure out that and do the research yourself. And then the next thing is the most difficult part, as you can see from the interviews. We interviewed different scholarship applicants, is that many people are scared of the essays. A lot of us, because when we were in veterinary school or agricultural colleges, we were not really trained in essay writing. So a lot of people have this challenge of essays, writing essays. When they hear about motivation statement, personal statements, they are scared. So, but the reality is, there's actually a formula that you can use that is very easy, that makes it easy for you if you know what you're looking for. And then the next thing is, when people are writing essays, they start trying to, check online, Wikipedia, use a lot of grandiose English. But the reality is, You need to, what you need, your biggest strength when you are writing a motivation essay or a personal statement is actually your own life story. So there are different ways you can use your life story to talk about your experiences and use it to position yourself for scholarship opportunities. The important thing again is reference letters. You need to get the right referees. You need to get the people that can talk about you in a constructive way that will sell your candidature. So that's an overview of what it means to get a scholarship. And of course, you have to take into cognizance the deadlines, and all those things. So I've done a summary of it. But like I said, it begins with your mindset, your desire. What are the things that can hold you back from exploring the scholarship? What you think, the mindset, the kind of myths that people are telling you. When they tell you that a scholarship is hard to get, you need to remove that belief from your mind. It is not hard. The people that are getting it, they don't have two heads. They are just like you. They have been in your shoes. And if they can do it, you can do it too. And limiting beliefs, some people have a lot of limiting beliefs. My grades are holding me back. My grades are not holding me back. I would like to tell you that your grades cannot hold you back if you don't hold yourself back. Like I have explained, there's a scholarship for everybody. So people have even the phobia to apply. They are scared of rejection. But as I'll tell you, rejection is a regular thing in life. You might give the best scholarship application, you might have the best grades. That does not guarantee you that you will get a scholarship. But if you keep struggling, there is hope that one day you can get. If you try one, try twice, maybe the third time, or you might even be on your first try, you can get. So that's just it. Mindset is very, very important. So talking about mindset, let me share the example of Dr. Abraham Olaide, who is also a vet doctor like all of you. He's currently on the Erasmus Mondo scholarship of the EU, and he's going to be studying in two European universities. And when we started working together with Dr. Abraham, he was just like I was, and like many of us would be. He was not too sure about the opportunity available, but we kept on talking, we kept on working together. He applied for a few, he didn't get, but at the end of the day, he eventually got. So a summary of how you can keep motivation is to begin with the end in mind. Know what you are looking for, know why you are looking for it, seek out people that are kindred spirits by joining a community, seek out mentorship, encourage yourself, and also learn from past winners like Dr. Abraham Olaide. So, talking about joining a community, we have a page on Facebook, Scholarship Made Simple, where we share a lot of opportunities and tips about scholarships. You can join us. We also have a group with the same name. You can find it and join it. Yeah. So I've talked about this, the documents you need to have. I've talked about so now finding the scholarship of best fit. I also hinted about it. It is about knowing who you are. That's Socrates, I think, said, "Know thyself." So, or Aristotle said that. So know yourself and know the opportunities out there and find a fit between the opportunities and yourself. How do you know yourself? How do you find this clarity? By asking these five questions: who, what, why, when, where, and how. Who are you? What scholarship are you looking for? Why? When do you want to go for that scholarship? Where do you want to study? And how do you hope to achieve this? So searching online for opportunities, as always, we start with Google. I think I have just a few more minutes, maybe 2 minutes more. So let me wrap up. You can use all these methods to look for opportunities. So now I want to basically let me talk about the opportunities available to vets, because I know that that's the most important thing you are waiting to hear. The current scholarship opportunities, first of all, practically every scholarship that is open to everybody in any other profession, that is a general scholarship, is also open to vets. What do I mean by that? Opportunities like the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, the Commonwealth Residential Scholarship, the Commonwealth PhD Scholarship, the MasterCard Foundation Scholarships. These are all open to a lot of professions, and vets are also open, and they're also eligible to apply for those. But aside those scholarships, there are also scholarships that vets tend to have an upper hand. So, like I said, One Health is one of the hottest things right now in our space, and then also animal welfare is also another thing. So one way to look for opportunities that are tailored to vets is to start looking by searching these buzzwords, One Health opportunities, and all those. So let me give you an example. Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. Erasmus Mundus Scholarship is the European Union scholarship. It's a 2-year master's program that aims to show professionals from the developing world a range of European countries, train them in a range of European countries. So you tend to travel not just in one country, but across countries. So you get 2 master's degrees in a period of 2 years, studying in 2 different universities or even 3. So they have the masters in vaccinology, and they have the masters in One Health and infectious diseases. Those masters are specifically geared towards veterinarians, animal scientists, and livestock experts. They also have masters in animal and I think animal breeding and genetics. If that's area that interests you, you can also look at those type of opportunities. But the principles for applying for all scholarships are the same. Just once you understand yourself, understand how to tell your story, you start by unveiling your personal stories, talking about it in a way that is convincing, getting the right um reference letters and all. So again, another type of scholarship that working there might be a working professional out there that is not interested in even studying outside, wants to get a foreign degree. So you want to go to school, maybe like you can explore online master's degrees. Like the University of Edinburgh has lots of online master's degrees, and they offer a lot of scholarships. Masters in international animal health, which I'm a graduate of, is one of those type of masters. They have masters in global health and infectious diseases. They have masters in One Health, and they have a global health academy at the University of Edinburgh, and they offer a lot of generous funding. So now, let me talk about also the Netherlands Fellowship Program. The Netherlands Fellowship Program, which is now known as the Orange Knowledge Program, OKP. The OKP is an opportunity for veterinarians and livestock people to go to the Netherlands and learn a hands-on skill, hands-on training in an area of animal health of livestock, poultry development and poultry and everything. So I was in the Netherlands for in 2018, yeah, to learn about dairy cattle development and dairy cattle reproduction. And I was there for 1 month, but they also have 3 months program where you can learn the whole thing about dairy cattle entrepreneurship and reproduction and feeding and nutrition and all those. The Netherlands government OKP program also has even masters opportunities fully funded for 2 years in the Wageningen University, which is a very, very good university, and I think also in Utrecht, which is like the leading veterinary school in the Netherlands. Then also you have the Belgian government program. They have different masters program. Unfortunately, I don't think just this master class, even though it's interesting, might not be enough for us to cover this whole topic. Like I said, there are numerous opportunities, and I just don't want to keep reeling out the list. I would rather you take the psychology behind it, the psychology behind getting the right opportunities, aligning yourself with the opportunities, and taking action to secure your future through an educational opportunity in the developed world. And on this note, I want to thank Dr. Femi for allowing me to overshoot my time.
Dr. Alimi Yusuf, so much information packed in one meeting. So the good thing is that this will always be online. I know he hurriedly went through a couple of very vital, I'm going to be stressing a couple shortly, but it's online, and I think it would be nice for you to watch the YouTube masterclass again so that you can pick up those vital things. It will be a worthy investment to have 1 hour dedicated again to watching this. But if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, of course, what are you waiting for? I want you to hit on the subscription button so that more of this masterclass, when it comes up, you can get a notification. Thankfully, as I said when we were starting this meeting, we hit 1,000. We are over 1,000 subscribers now, and the community is growing. So I want to thank every one of us who has subscribed. And then if you've not given Dr. Alimi a thumb up, So underneath the video, there's a thumb up. You just click on it. We are going to be giving two special people in this masterclass an opportunity one-on-one with Dr. Alimi Yusuf, right? Farmalat will be organizing a very close walk with Dr. Alimi for just two people, right? And the essence is to see that we're able to transform this masterclass to something that is very practical. And it will start by you giving Dr. Alimi a thumb up. If we check and you have not given Dr. Alimi a thumb up, then we'll have an issue with it. All right. So if you like what he's saying, I think you should give Dr. Alimi a thumb up. On the issue of summary, I think one of the key things I've picked, he said everything starts with just an application. He talked about the limiting belief, he talks about phobia, right? Sometimes we all need to learn to do what we fear. Like, if they tell you no, you didn't get it, it will not immediately cut off your life, right? It will not immediately cut off your life. So start by just writing that application. And one of the key things that he has said, which I also want to stress, is that sometimes you need a community of people. Fortunately for us now, we know he's the head coach of Scholarship Made Simple. Did you see his presentation? That he has helped raise over $700,000. Doc, you're a big man. Over $700,000 worth of scholarship. And I want your story to be part of this, right? So it's something that is real, it's something that is doable, and it's something that can become a reality. And I think another thing he mentioned that I want to stress before we can ask questions. I'm going to ask one question, then I will pick questions from the comment box shortly. You know, he said it strikingly that everyone has his own scholarship. You know, the issue of the most beautiful ladies are all married does not exist, right? There's still a woman made for you. There's still a scholarship. It's not all first class people that get scholarship, right? So even if you had third class, even if you had fourth class or seventh class, if there's anything like that, right, there's a scholarship. Your story alone could earn you a scholarship. One of the things he said is there's a need-based scholarship that's also available. You work with the community, and I think that's very phenomenal. Right. So, Dr. Yusuf, you've talked extensively. One question from me first is that you apply, right? Are there things that make scholarship fail in your application? Do you have like two or three things that you've seen people, the mistakes people make when writing a scholarship that ends them a no? I want you to please quickly talk about that. And while he's talking about that, keep putting your questions on the comment button. I'm going through them, I'll be reading them, and I'll be bringing questions up to the screen. Go ahead, Dr. Alimi.
Okay, thank you. The first thing that makes people ends them in no is that they apply for scholarships that they're not eligible for. Most people, because the scholarship advert is like a compendium of exactly what that scholarship funding body is looking for. If they are looking for first class candidates, they tell you straight that they are looking for first class candidates. And this is not like a job or a Nigerian job application that you can try and say, let me try. Usually you might want to try if you want to get the experience, but if you are looking for first class candidates, I don't advise you to apply, because if you don't have a first class, because there are lots of opportunities, and as you will find out, it is a process of using a lot of energy to apply for a scholarship. I'm not trying to discourage you. On one hand, I'm the person that is encouraging you that you should apply, but at the same time, I'm asking you to be targeted in your application. Know exactly the scholarships you are going to be applying for, because some of the applications you would be paying for admission, application fee for admission, and then if you are not eligible, you are probably wasting about $100 or $120. And if you convert that to Nigerian naira in current times, you know what it means. So, but there are some countries like the UK where they don't pay for admission, you don't pay for application fee. Any application to a UK university, mostly except Oxford, I think, and Cambridge, most of other universities is free to apply. So you can try it, but I always encourage you, even if you do a good job in a scholarship application, you realize that it took a lot of effort. So read the application eligibility criteria very well and make sure you are applying only if you are qualified. That's the first thing. The second thing that gets applications thrown out is that many people end up using highfalutin language. They think that it is by speaking big, big English in your application that will make the scholarship judges um, take your application and take it to the next stage. Just consider this: if you had 1,000 applications to review and you are the scholarship judge, you are forced to read. Most times you are probably doing your normal job. This is just an additional work they gave you, and maybe you came back and you're tired and you have 1,000 things to read, 1,000 applications. The first two sentences of the next essay you pick, if the person is not saying something that resonates with you, you throw it away. That's one. That's one of the major reasons. Then the last one is that people probably don't have incomplete, they have incomplete applications or false applications. If they're asking for the full documents, make sure you have all the documents. If they want you to have English proficiency like IELTS, have it. If they want you to submit your transcript, submit it on time. If they want you to get reference letters, make sure your referees are going to write your reference letter and submit it on time. The last one I want to add, even though you asked for three, is that many people leave the application to the last minute and they want to rush in their deadlines, and that usually doesn't work. It always backfires because you put in a substandard application. Maybe you underutilize your full potential, or you are forced to just put in some things that are not right because you are rushing. Thank you.
So again, those are very, very good point. A good job takes some effort, he said. Look at the criteria. If you don't have first class, you cannot manufacture it overnight, right?
Yes.
Look at the criteria, your documentation. If you want you to submit your transcript, submit it. And then this last minute is like a sickness in Africa. I have that sickness too. Like, I think we got it from school. Beginning of the semester, we will not study. Everybody, social center, and you finish from maybe we are together. The social center will be filled. Last week to exam, chemistry, everywhere you read, everywhere will be filled. Like one day to the exam, you will not find space in the reading class. People will be sweat. Like, why do we punish our brain that much? So again, I think you still need to make a comment about this last minute rush. Why do we do that? And how can we gain discipline in ensuring that we don't rush through an application and make it substandard? How do you overcome that last minute rush?
So for me, the first few applications I put in were just like you said, last minute, and I didn't get it. It was thrown back at me. But I realized, so I had the benefit of hindsight, and so I knew that most applications are advertised on a yearly basis. If you
Yeah.
are right now, it is scholarship season.
Mm.
Ending of the year is usually scholarship season. The ember months are scholarship season because most universities that give funding or most organizations that give funding are planning for the next year. So they advertise the opportunity right now. Chevening scholarship is currently are just closed. Then Commonwealth scholarship will soon open any moment from now. Erasmus Mundus is currently on. Some courses have opened up. Some courses will soon open up. The Netherlands fellowship program too, if you check online now, some have closed, but there are some that are still open. So these organizations plan their time ahead. So if you want to fit into their program, you also need to know that you plan yourself ahead since it's not your personal money. One thing I did is when I didn't win the funding, the scholarships I was looking for, I knew they were still going to apply for it next year. So for the Commonwealth scholarship, I actually applied twice. The first time was a no, but the second time I was prepared for them because what I did was I already answered the essays a year before. I was working on, after losing that one, I started working on my essays that minute. So even if you are in final year of veterinary medicine now, or you are in NYC now, and you are not yet ready to apply for a scholarship, It is not an excuse for you to wait till when it is knocking on your door. You can actually start preparing now. You can reach out to past scholars, ask them the kind of questions that they answered during their time. Ask them for sample essays if they are willing to give you. Join a community that's talking about scholarships. Just be soaking up what you are learning, read about it, check different platforms, find out potential opportunities. You should have a list, an Excel
Mm,
sheet of potential scholarships that you might be eligible for, whether you are applying now or you're applying anytime in the future, on the short term future. So it's an exercise if you start doing it bit by bit. Like, let me give you an example. The best student in my class when I was in Ahmadu Bello University, there was a reason why he was the best. Okay, no, he didn't, he was the second best eventually, but he was the best for a long time. And I used to ask myself, there's a reason why he was the best. The reason was that from the first day of school, he was reading. He had candles in his bag from beginning of the semester. So if he goes
mm,
to class and there's no light, no excuse. He just plants the mighty candle and start reading. And that was a few years back. But he actually maintained that lead. And the person that ended up overtaking him also is that same kind of person.
mm.
So people, average students like us, chose to be average. We chose to be average. But the reality is, like I said, when we're talking, people might be thinking like I was a very good student in school. I was just maybe in like the 20% of my class, and according to my CGPA. So with that, I still was able to get numerous opportunities. So I feel like it depends on what you put value to and you
Mm,
prioritize.
mm,
If you prioritize this opportunity
mm,
and you start working on it, you are really going to get it.
mm,
Because come to think of it, you have nothing to lose.
mm,
If you get it, it's going to change your life,
mm,
and it's free money.
mm. Dr. Yusuf Alimi, nothing beats quality preparation. Nothing,
Yes,
nothing. I think that's the
definitely.
biggest thing I've just learned now. Nothing beats quality preparation. So if you're going to apply for something, sometimes it takes you a year. One of the grants I won, it took me a year to prepare for it. And as you have said, it's free money. You have people who
Yes,
give you $50,000, $100,000, $300,000 that will literally change your life, right?
definitely,
So the
definitely.
discipline is now to see how you can start early, learn the ropes, and keep building on it. Let me bring up a question to the screen. That's from Stella Okoronko. Good afternoon, sir. Dr. Alimi. Most times the problem are during essay writing. When writing an essay, what and what should be those strong points when you're writing? So strong points you need to emphasize when you're writing an essay. Yes, doc.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. So the first thing I want to say is that essay writing is basically storytelling. Essay writing is basically storytelling. If you look at how we interact as human beings, we tell a lot of stories. In our day-to-day life, we tell a lot of stories. When we meet our friends to talk, we are talking stories, we are sharing our experiences. But when it comes to essays, it's like we have a brain block. A lot of us have a brain block because we have the wrong assumption of what an essay should be. We
Mm,
believe that an essay should be about speaking big English, sounding all academic and stuff. The reality is that you are not writing a journal paper. You are writing an essay. You are writing, let's even say, a composition or a story. Because your idea is the first thing you want to do is to hook your reader,
mm,
suck the person into your story, connect with the reader by creating rapport and forcing him on without beyond his will to read your story. That way, you capture the person's attention. And then we have different formulas where people do this, but the major one is something called the STAR method. It's called the situation, task, action, and results. So if they ask you, a lot of people will ask you, recently I was working with a traveling applicant. He's a vet doctor. And the first two essays, he sent the first essays to me to review. I looked at it. I didn't even know where to start. I sent it back to him to send it again. He sent me the same thing again. After I've explained and had a long session with him, he sent me back the same, almost the same type of essays. And then I sent it back to him. I said, let's have a conversation on phone. So I called him on phone and I started asking him about his life story. And then he started bringing out some. So let me just summarize. I hope I have his permission. I'm not going to mention his name. This is privacy. So I'm trying to preserve his privacy, but I'll tell you the story. The thing is, Chevlin asked about leadership. How has he demonstrated leadership? Because they are looking for leaders. They are looking for leaders to be Chevlin scholars. So he wrote a lot of things about his activities and that and that and that and that. But when I asked him, can you tell me about yourself? Your growing up, your family, how was it? Then the next thing is, I've known this guy for a few years, like 5 years now, but I never realized that he had such a deep story. He told me that while they were children, his father left them. His father left them, left his mom and 5 children, and went and married a woman, and left the family, married a woman, and decided to just be with the woman, abandoned them basically. So life was hard for them financially. And one day he came back from school. His mom used to sell in the market. So he came back from school. He actually carried his tray. He carried his tray. He went to his mom's shop, carried tray, and helped her to hawk stuff in the market. And he made 200 naira. And even though that 200 naira looks small now, but it really was important to their family back then. That was a story, and a beautiful story at that. So we
Mm,
worked together, and at the end of the day, we were able to come up with that is leadership. We might underrate that as
mm,
leadership, but
mm,
it's actually leadership because he took action. He saw a situation. He There was a task that needed to be done. He took action. He got results. That's a summary of his
mm,
life story. And I'm sure that same person has numerous life stories to tell. But most people overcomplicate essay writing. They think they have to speak in big languages, and that actually does the negative. It disconnects them from their audience.
mm,
Because the person reading your essay is one reader, even if there are a number of readers, but it's one person reading at a time, that particular essay. And if that one person is reading your essay, you need to connect with him. He has a childhood, he has an experience, this kind of experience, even if he was born in a rich home, he can relate with it because he's a human being.
mm,
So we wrote the essay, and then the first statement, he started with a hook. He said, my life, I didn't I wasn't born a leader. Life forced me to lead.
mm,
I wasn't born a leader because they say they are looking for leaders. So
mm,
other people will start talking about leaders,
mm,
talking about how they have been leading since they were in primary school, how they were prefects, how they were this, how they were that. But we came from another approach.
mm,
He first said, I wasn't born a leader. Life forced me to lead. And then he started talking about his stories. Anybody reading that first
mm,
statement will hook him. So you need a hook. And
mm,
hook. The
mm,
first line must be hooking, and it must not be big, big English, simple
mm,
English.
mm,
You must talk like you are talking to one person, not
mm,
to different people. Talk like you are, like you are just talking to a friend. Use
mm,
simple English, and you know, first thing, that's why you need to, don't be working under pressure. Write a first draft. Don't think
mm,
about the word count.
mm,
Write as much as you can write in your first draft. Forget it. Leave it for a while. Take a walk. Come back. Spend time on it. Good
mm,
things don't come easy, but at the end of
mm,
the day, you will be glad at your end results.
mm. This is fantastic, Dr. Yusuf Alimi. Uh, Stories are powerful. Stories are
Definitely.
powerful. The person I learned this kind of grant writing from, sometimes he writes and talks about me, and I'll be wondering, is this me? If you're gifted with story writing, you could win the war. But it's
Definitely.
something that can be developed. Did you see the powerful story you just shared? His dad
Yes.
left him, and then they were asking for leadership. And that powerful, strong story, that background that you think they don't want to hear. Some of us in Africa, we hide our vulnerability. We
Definitely.
hide it for what? Let them know you were vulnerable. Let them know you hugged in the market. Let them know that bad things happen. But here are you, still alive, still hopeful, still applying. And that story could be powerful enough to get the attention. Dr. Alimi, a lot of people will not forget this masterclass because of this very useful insight you're sharing. Somebody is saying, Achara Nduche, pardon me if I've murdered a bit your name. Thanks for this. These are resident opportunities open to Nigerian vets graduate in the US. Residency. So can you
Yeah.
briefly just talk about that?
So for residency, there are a number of ways to go about it. There are different type of residencies. I'm sure you know. There are some clinical residencies, like if it's the residency that involves a clinical area of veterinary medicine, it is open to Nigerian trained vets, but they need to go through a program called, they need to write the exam called NAVLE, North American Veterinary Licensing Exam. And they also have to write, register through the, I've forgotten, the Commission for Foreign Trained Veterinary Graduates. It's called ECFG, I think. And then they need to go through those processes. So if you are doing a residency in an area like surgery where you will be handling animals, you know that you have to be licensed as an American licensed veterinarian. You can't just come and come from Nigeria and start practicing, because residency involves actual practicing with animals. So areas like theriogenealogy and maybe surgery, but lab-based residencies, there are some lab-based residencies that you can actually get straight from Nigeria. Areas like laboratory pathology, areas like gross pathology, areas like even public health, you can get it from Nigeria, but it's a very competitive process, but you have to keep trying. So one secret I also have to say is this: scholarships, any opportunity, it has a lot to do with your CV. So if you are targeting residency opportunities or even any scholarship opportunities, you owe it to yourself to start building your CV today. It's like you are looking for a world class job, because you are competing against globally, a lot of a global talent pool, and you have to put yourself, there has to be a reason. It's a merit-based process, so there has to be a reason why they need to select you and not select somebody else. So whether it's residencies, internships, there are a lot of them they are available, and a lot of vet students now are beginning to explore things called externships in the US. We see a lot of vet students even before graduating at the University of Ibadan. They go to the US for like a 3 month externship program. Those are kind of opportunities that you can start exploring if you are still a student, or even if you are a new graduate. You can explore an externship, go and understand the place. When you go for 3 months, you meet people, you make a network, and then you come back, you keep in touch, and then you start targeting. I know a lot of people that have done that, and they are currently in the US. So the truth is, sometimes when it comes to this kind of things, there is a networking aspect. It's not like a scholarship. It's a bit different, because if they are going to take you into a role like that, a residency role, you are coming to like a university or a tertiary training organization. So they want to know whether they can work with you. So if you've had one leg in and you maintain your network, they can call you for a full residency and they will guide you.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Unfortunately, we are really running out of time, and then there are still two questions you need to quickly help us answer. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel and you're still watching, I think it's a perfect time to do that. Click on the subscription button. Also, want to thank every one of us. Before this masterclass, we were able to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're proud of that. And we thank you for every one of us who is still watching and has subscribed. But we want to increase our subscription. If you've not given Dr. Yusuf Alimi a thumb up for this really very brilliant insight he's giving to us, I think it's a good time, a great time to give him a thumb up. I'm going to bring up one more question. After that, we're going to be asking you just a specific question of how to get to you and how we can proceed with this mentorship. Somebody said, which is the way to go? Write all your tests and document before seeking for professor, supervisor. Emphasis on US scholarship now. Is it that? I'm not getting this question, but you can see that on your screen, right? Is it to
I
write
get
your
it.
test before going for your documents, or that's all I
Yes.
was?
Yes, I know what he's saying, because in North America, for graduate research opportunities, you need to reach out to a professor first before you can get admitted or you can get funding. I don't think that one you should wait for one before you do the other, but you should know that your documents are something a matter of urgency, because if the professor says yes, I'm willing to take you, you have to show him documents to prove. He might want to see your transcripts. So you need to have a copy. I always advise right out of university, apply for your transcript today. Immediately you are finishing and Senate has sat on your result. Don't wait for the next day. Apply for your transcript, process it. If your university gives you student copy, collect it, scan it, and keep. If your university does not give you student copy, apply and tell them that you are applying to a UK university and they need you to upload the transcript yourself, PDF copy. As soon as you get it, scan it and keep in your email. Those documents, you need to have them, because even if you reach out to a professor and the professor says, okay, I'm ready to move on with you, where are your documents? You
Mm,
don't have. It's like they want to give you a job and you don't have CV
mm,
and you don't have international passport. I didn't mention international passport. You need to have international passport. That's the first thing if you want to do anything. If you don't have international passport, you can't even write those exams, English proficiency and all.
mm.
Thank you.
All right. So and now to about the final question, right, Dr. Alimi? So we know that it's good to hear all this, but more importantly, you need guidance, right? Somebody has listened to you and then he wants guidance, specific guidance on, okay, so who proofreads my application? Guidance. You are the head coach in scholarship made
Scholarship made
simple.
simple. Yes.
Parmalat wants to give you two students, right?
Yes.
So how do we get
That's
in
true.
touch with you? How do we be part of your community?
Yo, beautiful. So I have we have a page, a business page on Facebook. It's called Scholarships Made Simple. And then
On
we are
Facebook, right?
also
Let me type that scholarship, right? Scholarship
scholarships with an S, scholarships made simple.
made
That's the
simple.
name of our business page. And then that also has a Facebook group, which is like a free Facebook group. You can also join that. But ultimately, my personal profile is up on Facebook, Yusuf Alimi. You can send me a direct message. And for now, what we do is we have a mentorship program. We have a mentorship program where we work with small groups of people over a period of 8 weeks. Small groups of people. We have an online course. It's called Pathways to Global Scholarship. Pathways to Global Scholarship Bootcamp. So that online course gives you a breakdown of everything you need to know about applying for scholarships.
Mm.
That is on Seller. Seller is a platform where you sell online courses. Yeah, and we are currently running a bonanza. That's 7.5. If you want that course alone, but if you want the mentorship program, we're going to be working for the mentorship, because we know that there's more to information than just having the information. We want to like be your accountability partner and work with you over a period of 8 weeks, and where we help you answer, we work with you one on one, show you the strategies and how to implement them. But of course, it is a do it with you, not do it for you. We are
Mm.
not going to do it for you. We are doing
Mm.
it with you. So that means we require you to be committed while
Mm.
we are also committed. If you
Mm.
are committed, you will meet us committed. So the
Oh,
idea
nice.
is that it's a mentorship program that we are floating. We've had the last cohort, and part of them is Dr. Abraham that just got admission, and a number of other people that I've worked with. And then right now, there are some that just submitted Chevening, and we are hopeful. But you know, the thing is with this application is, like I said, nobody can guarantee you a scholarship, but you can have an accountability partner, you can have a coach, a mentor that can work with you hands on, show you the strategies, implement them, and then at the end of the day, you wait and see what happens. Hopefully, from our results that we have had so far, we are very hopeful that something good is going to come out. And indeed, we have had positive results, and we believe that you can be our next success story. So if you're interested in joining this mentorship program, which is for a small group and which is starting very soon, because this is scholarship season. In the next 1 week, we are kickstarting the next cohort. And so you can reach me on Facebook. send me a DM on Facebook, and I can lead you on how to take the next steps.
All right. So you just mentioned that 7.5. What? So 7,500. I hope it's naira, not dollar.
No, that 7,500
Mm.
is for the online course alone. Now,
Okay.
just if you want the online course, you can
Mm.
just take the online course, learn everything you need
The
to learn.
closed group. What about the closed group?
No, for the closed group,
Uh,
um, typically we have before now we charge is 100,000 naira because it's a 8 weeks to 12 weeks program.
mm,
You know, it's a, between 2 months to 3 months, depending on how much people might need. But maximum in 12 weeks, we are sure that you'll be in a good place. But that said, because we are dealing with vets now, we are currently running a bonanza. We are running
good.
a bonanza, and we are going to do it for 75,000 naira. Anybody that is ready
Mm,
to work with us for the next 8 weeks to 12 weeks, we can work with him on his applications and give him the tips and strategies and help him implement, be his accountability partners, review personal statements, give insights, help him bring out the stories. Because some people have stories, they cannot talk about the story. But when we have a one-on-one with you, you can tell us, we can interview you, and we'll advise you how best to put your story, because the bulk of it is your essay writing. How to find opportunities. We also share opportunities with you. What are the opportunities that are available that you can apply for based on your your specific situation?
All right. So doc, let's do this now. You know, I'm also a businessman. Give us for 50,000. Let's sponsor two persons. Doc,
Okay,
can't you do this for a friend?
okay, that we can do. Honestly, we can do it for you because it's you, and we
All
align
right.
with your vision.
All right, so
Definitely.
that's very nice of Dr. Alimi. Now you have to be watching this masterclass. You must have subscribed and also share this video among your friends. And we rely on Dr. Alimi's recommendation for those two. So you get back to us that well, this person watched this masterclass and you think that this is going to be a potential candidate to win scholarship, so that you can be part of Farmalab, can be part of the success story of those people. 8 to 10 weeks of close working with them, not working for them. Some people want people to work for them, but no, working with them so that we can be part of this story. If you've not subscribed, I think it's a good time to make the subscription. But we want to thank Dr. Alimi for this useful insight. Is really scholarship made simple. You've opened up, talked to us about the criteria, the documentation, how to state our story. And I believe with this 1 hour class, people are much more confident to enroll into this scholarship. And we hope that something will happen. We want you to come back and share the story with us that somebody, while watching this, got a scholarship, because those are some of the evidence we will have to know that we are really creating impact. The last 2 weeks, we had somebody talked about laboratory tests. Unfortunately, by next week, we are going to be giving away a free incubator to meet up with the person's lab setup. And of course, we'll be relating it to the house. So it's always our joy. It's always something we want to do, to be part of people's progress. And when we find somebody like you being in the middle, helping us achieve that, we are almost always grateful. So, on behalf of everybody who listened and who will listen to this masterclass, we want to thank you, Dr. Alimi. And to every one of us, we want to wish you a very good afternoon. Dr. Alimi, any final word?
Thank you so much, Dr. Ofemi. I really appreciate this opportunity to reach out to people, and I want to congratulate you for this very beautiful platform and the good work you're doing. I've been a follower of this platform. I've watched your previous videos, and I really, really appreciate it. So, to the viewers, I want to thank you for your time. I also want to encourage you, if you think that the scholarship is something that is going to make your future better, I think you need to get serious about pursuing it today. It's something that is possible. I always say that if one person can do it, then you can definitely do it. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And to everyone, Happy afternoon. Thank you.